Final topic is crypto, and let's jump into it. Check out some charts. The crypto market has kind of been in a slump since our last episode. We mentioned last episode that the slump was at least partly caused by the monthly update from the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, giving a fairly bearish report on what interest rate cuts would look like in 2025. I think another reason why we saw Bitcoin touch prices down as low as 91K on December the 30th likely had to do with companies and whales needing to balance their books, taking those profits and in some cases those losses in order to either avoid those profits turning and the capital gains taxes from ending up on their 2025 balance sheet, or by taking losses, for example, by buying at 170K and selling at 91K, for example, in order to have to pay less taxes on their 2024 balance sheets. So, big companies and whales might be thinking that way. Not something that us small fries would be dealing with, but I think that could be also have affected the prices near the end of the year going into the new one. By that same logic, we see that once January 1st hit, we had this good run up all the way back up to $102,000 per Bitcoin. But now we have seen those gains evaporate as Bitcoin has fallen back down to 92K and is now sitting at about 95K. So what does that mean? This post by Dan Crypto kind of explains some stuff that I think is pretty much lays it out the best way. Bitcoin last year, the market often bottomed or topped in the first week of the month. This was then followed by a large move to the other direction. Generally, we saw a sharp decline during the first few days of the month and a bounce after. June was the only month where price went up first, be followed by a downside for the rest of the month. July to November saw downside first, followed by upside for the rest of the month. December has been an exception where the price mostly chopped sideways. Like I was saying, the tail end of December, we did see the price go down, and I kind of explained why. We had that Jerome Powell thing, and then we also, I think, had people just trying to balance their books. And then January, we've seen a rise at the start of the month with a local top, which was made on the 7th, and now a new monthly low on the 8th. Pretty undecisive start for the year. This doesn't say much yet, especially being December broke the trend, and the start of the year is generally very choppy, but nonetheless, I'll keep an eye on this trend to see if we're seeing the same again in 2025. New year, new market. Let's see how we do in 2025. So he's basically saying that we could see patterns from September to November repeat itself again, and we could see this dip turn into an explosive move upwards. It's a pretty interesting idea, and we may very well see Bitcoin do what it has done, like I said, September, October, November, and bring us back up to new all-time highs. I personally will probably be trying to long some Solana with this sort of idea, hoping that we see some really big upside potential moving into the middle of January, but we'll see how that works. There are some rumblings about macro not going so well, though. The USD is not performing as well as people had hoped, things like that, but I think we also have plenty of time in January to see where things will go. I've been pushing this whole buy the rumors, sell the news narrative for a couple months now, and it's important to remember that January 20th may be a pretty big sell the news situation. Talked about that enough for you guys to know what I'm talking about. I've also talked about how an altcoin season was just around the corner, but now I'm not 100% confident. We'll have to see if we even see an altcoin cycle. It really depends on the macro, and if we see Bitcoin hit around 120K, in my opinion. I really personally need a good altcoin cycle myself, so fingers are crossed, and hopefully we do see that. But anyways, that is it for this week of What's New Weekly, guys. If you are watching this in the future, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to send this video to somebody else, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.